Anyway, I'm Kathleen Spoor, and though I am not the president of the Rosamond Rotary currently, the current president, Gene Melchers, and his wife Charlene Melchers had to be away for a death in the family. So I'll just touch base with how we're going to get started. We're going to have this wonderful ROTC presentation of our flag, and then we will have the Anglican choir. Well, you know this flu that's been going around? We have a wonderful couple ladies who are going to sing the Star Spangled Banner, and please join in with us. And then Miss Rosamond will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And then Father David Brown from St. Andrew's Anglican Church will lead us in prayer. So if you could stand now and remain standing, we'll begin our program with the
trying to get out of everybody's way.
The salute to the flags, the presentation of colors.
Present colors.
Please join me in singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Please join me in the flag salute. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Please remain, here we go. Here is Father David Brown of St. Andrew's Anglican Church. He'll lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for all the blessings you put upon us. We thank you as that you protect us in all things, that you have appointed brave and courageous men and women to protect us. We thank you for them, and we thank you for the opportunity to honor them and show them how much we appreciate all that they do. We ask you to protect them as they protect us, to bless the food we're going to eat, and to bless each one of us to your service. In Jesus' name, amen.
You may be seated. Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you. for coming. This is a wonderful time that we share as a Rotary Club. We sponsor the honoring of our deputies, and we give them, you know, a nice prize, and it's your opportunity to get acquainted with them and get to know who's keeping us safe in this community. This is our 11th consecutive honoring of our officers. A little about our club, though. Let me see if I can find my notes. You know, I have this all scribbled. You saw me running around. February 28th, 1998 is when we were chartered. The Rosamond Rotary was chartered. And so we are thrilled to still be here and to serve the community. And as people ask, well, you know, gee, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. But we've been here and been proud to support different fundraising events to put money into our community. Our board, like I mentioned, Jean and Charlene aren't here, but Jean Melchers is our president and president-elect, Margaret Light. Margaret's here, Marguerite Light. And our secretary is David Brown, Father David Brown. He's back there. And of course, Charlene is the treasurer, and director at large is Paulette Rush. Paulette's right in the middle. You can't hide, Paulette. You have to raise your hand. There you go. All right. Very good. All right. Well, we're kicking off the program. We have this wonderful dinner coming, but you don't have to endure my conversation. We have a wonderful MC for you today, and so it's my pleasure to introduce our MC for today, this wonderful, warm, lovely event, the 2015-2016 Rotary District 5300 Governor, Randy Pope.
Thank you. Wow, what a privilege. I've had the opportunity to visit the 64 clubs in our Rotary District this year, and each time somebody has introduced me, I've asked them to keep it that brief, because it doesn't make any sense to have somebody tell you about my Rotary career. So I will give you just a very, very brief Reader's Digest version. I had the opportunity to join Rotary back in Denver, Colorado in the late 80s. A move to Las Vegas happened in 1990 because of business, and was privileged to join the North Las Vegas Rotary Club, of which I'm still a member. I had the opportunity to serve the board in my club and district on many, many different levels. A couple of highlights. I was with the North Las Vegas Club the year they started a Happy Feet program, which gives children in at-risk schools new footwear. I had the opportunity 5 years ago, about right now, to go to India and drop polio vaccine into the mouths of children in India. Rotary really makes a difference all over the world. I'd like to get us to our meal, and I'd like to tell you that our meal is catered today by Michael Watson Catering. The menu includes delicious tri-tip macaroni salad, baked beans, corn, green salad, biscuits, a blueberry chocolate cheesecake for dessert, and we also have veggie burgers available. Remember that children with a yellow wristband will receive their choice of a hamburger or a hot dog with any side and chips. Coffee and lemonade are also available. Soda pop, beer, and wine are right back there. So please allow our guests at the head table to be served first. We're going to form a line buffet style, followed by the sheriff's deputies and their guests. Now before we start, please remember that even though this is a wonderful community service project to recognize and honor the sheriffs that keep our community safe, it's also a bit of a fundraiser for the Rosamond Rotary Club. So raffle tickets are available for $10 each from our Rosamond Royal Court. Ladies, would you raise your hand, please, so they all know? Oh my gracious, they all have very, very distinctive headwear. Tickets are available for $10 each, and the raffle prize will be an AR-1500 rifle, which is on display. Is it by the bar? And remember, look at me carefully, you must pass all gun registration laws in order to receive the rifles. So let's start with our head table and then have our sheriff deputies follow behind. And let's go on ahead and start having lunch, and we'll be back in just a minute. Thank you. One of the things I'd like to share with you just a little bit is where the proceeds of your generosity in purchasing the raffle tickets will go. We're part of an organization called Rotary International, but one of the special things about the clubs in the Antelope Valley, as opposed to, for instance, some of the 18 clubs that are part of our district in southern Nevada that really don't have any identity. I mean, one of the Rotary clubs is called the Southwest Rotary Club. There's no part of Las Vegas called Southwest. But the clubs up here, Palmdale, Lancaster, Lancaster Sunrise, Antelope Valley Sunrise, they all have community identity. And that makes them even more special than all the rest of the Rotary clubs. Some of the places, and I'm going to bring up Kathleen's daughter, Dana, in just a minute to explain one of the very unique programs that the money from this fundraiser and other fundraisers go to. I'm going to bring Dana up just a second to speak about the elementary reading ribbons. But some other places where your generous donation of $10 each, and you notice they keep repeating that because I'm encouraging you to reach into your wallet or your checkbook. This club gives away $2,000 in college scholarships a year. They donate to a program called, hold your applause and you can applaud all of their programs at the end. They donate to a program called OATH, which is Operation All the Way Home, which is a project Lancaster High School started to provide for the needs of disabled military veterans. They donate to the Wounded Warriors. They do assistance in feeding and clothing the Rosamond community needy, and they also support the Rosamond Youth Sports Club and Little League. Now internationally, because I shared with you that we're Rotary International, this club and club members from this club and others in the Antelope Valley, once a year in the spring, travel down to San Diego on their own dime, spend the night, and the next day take a bus over to Tecate. And between 9 o'clock in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon, they build a home for a family that's given over 2,000 hours of community service, and at 4 or 4:30 in the afternoon, they hand the keys over to that couple. And that, for the most part, is the first time that couple has ever been able to leave their home and lock the door and go to work knowing their stuff's going to be there in the afternoon. That's the Core Zone Super Bill that this club and other clubs participate in. They also donate so that when we have emergencies throughout the world, they help with those emergencies. There's a program called Shelter Box that many clubs up here, including the Rosamond Club, do, where $1,000 will give a family a tub about this big that has everything they need except for food to exist when their home is destroyed by hurricanes, typhoons, or earthquakes. They've also provided wheelchairs to third world countries, and as I mentioned to you, the eradication of polio is important to all of us. It used to be there was 350,000 cases of polio a year. I can tell you since the 1st of January of 2016, we only have 2 countries where polio is endemic, and we've only had 1 case of wild polio virus, and that was in Pakistan. I can tell you that a year and a half ago, India, which had more polio cases than any place else in the world, became polio free. So the Rosamond Club helps that as well. So Dana, you're not eating? Good.
Yeah.
All right. This is a very, very unique program, and in March, the Rotary International focus is literacy. And this is a program that addresses just that need. So you've got 2 minutes, Dana. 2 minutes.
Very good. Hello. I wanted to say a few words of gratitude to the Rosamond Rotary Club and the reading ribbons. Every class gets first, second, and third place reading ribbons. They're very beautiful, very ornate, and it's great to see the excitement in the eyes of the kids who, yet again, they get another opportunity in order to win one of these ribbons. And so I have some students who have won it every year, and they're always working hard. Have you won it every year? Excellent, see? And it really has made a difference in practicing reading and getting the kids involved. So I wanted to say thank you, Rotary Club, for doing that for our schools in Rosamond.
Thank you very much. Now, I have the opportunity and the honor of introducing special guests that have come here this afternoon to support this 11th annual Sheriff Appreciation event put on by the Rosamond Rotary Club. And I would love for you please to hold your applause. And Kathleen, do you want them to just come up in front of the stage, or do you want them to come up? Because if we bring them up and they're close to the microphone, we could all be in deep, deep trouble. All right, why don't you just stand up and wave your hand from your seat if you would, please. California Congressman to the 23rd District, Kevin McCarthy. Is representative here? Okay. Then we have Kern County Superior Court Judge John Oglesby and Corey Woodworth. From the Rosamond Community Services District, we have Directors Olaf Landeskar and President Alfred Wallace. From the Southern Kern Unified School District, we have President of the School Board Mario Gutierrez and Vice Principal Debbie Keys. And from the Rosamond Municipal Town Council, we have everybody. Is that correct?
Actually, you do.
Okay, good. Thank you. We have Directors Dan Spoor, Justin Wright, Gary Thyman, Charles Romo, Olaf Landeskar, Bill Parkman, and President Dennis Schaffner. Thank you all. And then the Rosamond Royal Court. Okay. Oh, Zach, I'm so sorry. Zack Scrivner, 2nd District, Kern County Supervisor. And then, the Rosamond Royal Court, you met Megan Williams, Miss Rosamond, right? Okay. And then Teen Miss Rosamond is Courtney Jones. Junior Miss Rosamond is Angel Aguirre. Little Miss Rosamond Princess, Katie Jorgensen. Tiny Miss Rosamond, Jenna Campbellisa. She's not here. Oh, she left. Okay. Tiny Miss Princess, Tori Melchers, and Kaylee. And Teen Miss Antelope Valley, Ariana Medina. Now, ladies, did I get you all? Okay, so Little Miss Rosamond is Ashlyn Compton, and she has 2 crowns. And she's also Little Miss Antelope Valley. And one more reminder, we decided not to put the pressure on them, so they don't have the raffle tickets. The man at the clock, Father David in the back, does have all the raffle tickets, so please be generous. The AR Wright 15 rifle that we're raffling off is made available through Carl's Hardware Firearms. Thank you so much, because they also give the gun that we give to the sheriff. And now, as I look at the clock, I realize that we're just a smidge behind. And I talked to our keynote speaker today, and I said, do you have a bio you would like me to read? Or would you like a special introduction? He goes, no, I'm pretty much the same as you are. He says, I don't need all of that. So without any further ado, please welcome our Assemblyman, Tom Lackey.
Well, the good news for everybody is I'm not a heavy-winded individual. You'll be good. Happy to note that I'm actually from a rural area known as Boron. That's where I grew up, and so my memories of Rosamond are to compete. And it was a long time ago, but we were pretty dominant back then, except in baseball. You guys always gave it to us, but football we did pretty well. Anyways, that is what you came to hear from me. I am your assembly member, and so whether you supported me or not at this point is not really relevant. I hope to get your support, but let me tell you, the exciting thing is there's a lot of good people back in Sacramento, but a lot of those good people have weird views in my mind. And so, quite frankly, I think the biggest challenge that we face right now as a state is our economic condition. I think our middle class is having trouble, and I think that should be our focus. But unfortunately, the focus seems to be, and it comes from our governor as well, and the party in power, that we need to save our environment, and that the environment is being jeopardized by carbon. Although some of that maybe have some truth to it, I think we need to really, really temper that perspective, and I think we are doing some very responsible things with our environment, and I think our focus needs to be more directed towards helping our middle class be employed and supporting our local small businesses. That has always been the backbone of our success here in California, and especially out here in our region. You know, there was a good example of that was the new law that seemed to get so much attention. We were fortunate to be able to stop the perspective where they wanted to tax our mileage. Those of us who live in rural areas, we have no choice but to drive. And to try to penalize that, we felt was a terrible perspective, and it almost made its way, but we got it stopped. But one part that did survive was the 50% renewable requirement for all energy. And what that does to the average person is really increase its cost substantially. And I don't know about you, but my bill for my energy, well, unless you have some kind of solar arrangement, but the rest of us, we pay pretty penny for our power, and it's going to go up. So we need to work on that. A piece of good news is you may have heard the bomber contract for Northrop Grumman is going to bring a great surge here. There's going to be some good employment available locally. I have the distinct privilege of driving the freeway at 4:30 in the morning every Monday to go catch a flight. And I can tell you at 4:30 in the morning, it's bumper to bumper all the way to the Los Angeles region. Those people aren't going shopping. Those people are going to work. And it is very slow going through the majority of that drive. And so we have probably close to 100,000 people who are commuting to sustain their livelihood. We've got to do better than that. We're a great value with obviously great talent, very capable people because they're working. But unfortunately, we don't have the market right now to sustain those jobs here locally, and I think that needs to be a priority that we're working towards. Back to the aerospace contract, one of the things that myself and Senator Runner and Congressman Knight are trying to do is we're trying to recruit an aerospace institute of technology. You know, one of the reasons, quite frankly, what's carrying the state of California right now is the Silicon Valley. And one of the things that made them so strong was their research institute at Stanford. And that is one reason why they're doing so well. We believe that aerospace can be that same kind of an engine for our economic success out here. And we believe if we're able to bring that institution here, that it will help cement our reputation here in the Antelope Valley as as the Center for Aerospace and its support. Everybody knows out here that we're struggling with water. And we all pulled together to pass a water bond. And unfortunately, we've seen over the last year, we heard all this talk about El Nino, we heard about all this great water resource that was going to be coming. And in the southern part of the state, we haven't quite seen, I haven't seen yet. I mean, we saw a couple terrible floods that took place, but it hasn't been sustained throughout the whole period of time that we were told that it was going to. Water is a very serious problem. And as I said, we passed that water bond. And part of that water bond agreement was that we would be building storage for when we did have excesses, that we could capture that instead of sending it out to the ocean, and that we could help sustain our challenge for when things are drier. This is not a new phenomenon, folks. This has been going on for decades. A long period of time, and yet we still have people that have the responsibility to utilize your dollars and to expend them in a way that's going to build our sustainability. And quite frankly, it's been a year since you passed the bond, and we haven't turned one spade or one pile of dirt to build any of those dams that we were told we were going to be using that money for. You know, I co-authored some legislation that would waive the CEQA requirements, which is the California Environmental Quality Act. And darn it, part of the problem in our construction and our ability to do this stuff is that, and that act is also used as a political tool to stop construction. And so one thing that happened in the city of Sacramento, where I get to spend a significant amount of my time, is they decided to build a sports arena for the basketball team. And the local economists and all the local elected leaders said, we need to waive these CEQA requirements so that we can build this quicker, because we need it sooner so we can revitalize our community quicker. And that happened. They all came together, they all passed it, and the state legislature said, a great idea. So we thought, hey, what's good for a sports arena should be good for water storage. So how about we do the same thing to build dams? And that thing never even made it, that idea never even made it to the assembly floor or the Senate floor. It got killed in committee. So we have an environmental perspective that is, in my opinion, it's blurry. And we need to try to help bring some focus. And we're not going to quit. We're going to keep pushing. But we need you people to help us speak out at whatever opportunity you do in support of these common sense ideas. Beware of the next ballot. We also have several tax hike proposals. One attacking Proposition 13 on commercial property taxes and other temporary taxes on high income earners. Those are people who provide jobs. One of the things that I'll bring it to a close here pretty quickly. One of the things that I felt very, very strongly about, many of you know that my real job was to be a California Highway Patrolman, and I retired after 28 years. One of the things I see as a threat to our sustainability and our day-to-day lives is the impaired driver. And we've done a really good job on the high-profile programs and making people understand the dangers of mixing alcohol when they're operating a motor vehicle. One thing we have a long ways to go on is, and especially the new presence and utilization of marijuana and many other prescription drugs. And so I was proud to be part of legislation that is actually going to bring more research on analyzing and being able for law enforcement to enable them to actually recognize people who are impaired by marijuana. It's a very unique drug. It has a very limited window of impairment, and so we're going to try to collect the data that will help law enforcement identify those who are threatening our public. If we look to Colorado, we can see what's happened there. And their marijuana-related deaths have jumped in astronomical numbers. And so we need to learn from that. We need to do what we did with alcohol. It took decades before we got to where we are now. When I joined the Highway Patrol in 1985, it was still a laughable offense. People thought it was funny when people would stagger to their car. We now know that that's not so funny, and that it actually results in tragedy. So we need to do the same thing with our prescription drugs, and especially marijuana. There's a great likelihood now on this ballot, too, that we're going to follow the pathway of Colorado, unfortunately, and that's going to bring a new challenge into our society, in my opinion. I'm not a supporter recreational marijuana. We don't need more intoxicants. I don't see the benefit to that. But nonetheless, I'm proud to represent every one of you. I couldn't be more excited to have the chance to be engaged. And you know, we see a lot of frustration, especially during this presidential season, where both parties are trying to gather support for their candidates, and people are quite frankly frustrated with the elected officials. That's very, very clear. And I think one of the reasons why we're all frustrated is because our elected officials don't seem to be genuine. They seem to be focused on things other than representing each one of us. So one of the things that I'm very proud to do is to join organizations like the Rosamond Rotary, each one of you. I mean, I just feel like I'm very fortunate to have this big responsibility, and I consider it a great privilege, a great honor. And even though we're in the minority back there, folks, we're working very hard, and we're going to get some things done. It just takes time, unfortunately. So be patient, be active, and allow my office, if you're having problems with any kind of state agency, reach out to us. Every person that works in my office is a people person. And whether you supported us, whether you ever support us, we still want to help you. So please come to us, let us do our job, and thank you for listening to me for the last several minutes.
One of the things that when you visit each club, that's very important for the governor to do, and Beth didn't get to go to every visit with me, but one of the things that you're supposed to do when you get to the lectern is you really ought to introduce your wife. So the woman that I actually married at a Rotary event 4 months ago that I met decorating the Rotary Rose Parade floats, Beth is in the back. Beth Anderson Pote, please say hello. Beth's been a Rotary as long as I have. And I have the distinct privilege, I don't think I've ever been able to do this. Beth and I flew my dad out from Denver to get away from the cold and ice. I think it's 66 in Denver today. But my father, Dr. Hugh L. Pote, is here. Dad, stand up and say hi, please. Sit down. And then a brand new, very, very special person in my life. Beth's brother is here. Beth's brother, Dexter, is a retired police officer and a professor of criminal justice at Antelope Valley College. Dexter, come. Now, I was told that we do have about 9 or 10 extra meals that for $15 you can get to go, and Marguerite is guarding the back door. So if you have that desire, please see her. At this point in time, representing East Kern and the 2nd District, Supervisor Zack Scrivner will provide a short state of the county. Well, first of all, I want to thank the servers and the restaurant that provided us with such a great meal. I want to thank the Rotary Club of Rosamond. I'm a Rotarian. I'm a member of the club in Tehachapi. I've been a Rotarian for about 11 years or so. I was trying to do the math. And, you know, Rotary does a lot of wonderful things internationally, polio eradication, tons of great projects. But this, to me, is the best thing that the Rosamond Rotary does each and every year in recognizing our deputies that are working out here so hard for us. I wish there was a better year for me to give a state of the county, quite frankly. Kern County turns 150 years old this year, and I don't know how many of you know this, but this used to be LA County. LA County went all the way up through Tehachapi, and then the rest of Kern was Tulare County. And so back in 1866, they created a new county. And so for 150 years, our industries have been ag and they've been oil. And the oil industry is what all of us know has really, really been suffering in Kern County. And those impacts are being felt severely by county government. Back in 2014, oil was going for $99 a barrel. And now it's down below $30 a barrel. We think that when the assessor is finished doing his valuations, it's going to settle somewhere around 34 to 35, but it could be a little bit lower. What that's meant from us when it went from $99 to $55 a barrel, now we're down into the 30s,
was two sequential $50 million hits to our general fund and our fire fund. So we're operating with about $100 million less than in property tax revenue than we were just 2 years ago. Now, when things were going well, we saved a lot of money in reserves because we know that we live in a county that has a volatile revenue stream with the oil industry. You look at what the value of a barrel is, you apply that to the reserves that are in the ground for the companies on the west side of Kerr County and north of Bakersfield, and that's how you come up with the property taxes that they pay. Now, we have a lot of industries that are doing very well in Kerr, and we've seen our property taxes coming from residential and commercial. They've been ticking up at a slow but a fairly steady rate, but it's that big hit from the oil industry that's really clobbered us. And so what we've done is cut our budget over subsequent years. We have an austerity plan that we have implemented, but what it really comes down to is going to be a big impact on the service levels provided to our community. And I think that all the members of the Board of Supervisors, our top priority is our public safety and the level of service that we can provide. You might have heard there were some discussions about closing the Rosamond substation, closing the Ridgecrest jail. I've since then worked with Sheriff Youngblood. The Rosamond substation is not going to close, and I feel confident that we won't see it close regardless of what happens, because that is such a remote area. But I'm working with Donnie to figure out ways to try and supplement his budget so we can maintain the service levels in Eastern Kern, because as we know, this area is spread out. It's not like being in Metro Bakersfield where backup is close by. The deputies, and Donnie will tell you the same thing, and I know Lieutenant Little will as well, is that the deputies that work out here are not only they're the hardest working, but these desert deputies turn out to be the best deputies and senior deputies and sergeants and lieutenants that you have in the entire department, because they have to go out and deal with the situation knowing that backup, it could be a long way away, that they're going to have to use their diplomacy at times. You can't just go in and be too aggressive at times, because you may be the only guy out there for a long time. And so from what I hear from Sheriff Management is those guys that serve time in these substations out here in the desert, they always end up being the best ones in the department. And so you have the best of the best working for you. Along with the budget issues, you know, our employees have gone several years without a raise. You deputies probably haven't noticed that. But believe me, we have on the board. It's something that we have wanted to address for a long time, and it's just we keep getting hit with one thing after the other. You know, first we're dealing with retirement costs, and then we're dealing with staffing the Laredo jail and trying to put away money for that. Kern Medical Center, our hospital was losing $3 million a month at one point in time. Now we're making between $200,000 to $400,000 a month. We've turned that around. And as soon as we get that turned around, we get hit by oil. So it's just been one thing after another. But we know that we continue to need to address our retention and recruitment issues. We're losing deputies to other departments, and we know that. And I just want you guys to know that we are committed to address that just as soon as we can. But we really have gone through some tough budget years. But we know that despite that, you're out there and you're working hard, and you continue to take pride in your job. And so on behalf of the board, I just want to tell you thank you so much, and that we greatly appreciate you. Once again, I just want to tell the Rosamond Rotary, thank you so much for such a great event, a marvelous event, 11 years running. We'll always be out here to support you in this event, because it really is, I think, important to show these guys how much we appreciate what it is that they do. It's an honor to represent you on the Board of Supervisors, and God bless each and every one of you. Thanks.
We all came here, so could we have all of the VIPs that are participating in the award ceremony come up in front of the lectern, please? something we didn't share with you.
What's giving out certificates so I can get
It says all VIPs participating in the awards ceremony. So if you're a VIP, guess what? You're participating. Come on up, please. And all of the VIPs were the ones that I read off before. Let's do all the special guests. You are VIPs. Why don't you come up in front, please? VIPs, stay up in front. Could we please have, from the Sheriff's Department, Lieutenant Tom Little, John Beasley, Commander of the Rosamond Truck Station. Last year's recipient of the Deputy, or the recipient of the Deputy of the Year in 2007, Sergeant James Anton. Sheriff Support Technician, Constant Rudder. The senior deputies, Andrew Chaidez, Steven Vasquez, and deputies, Cameron Beck, Oscar Carrillo, Bennett Driscoll. Christopher Escobedo, Daniel Garza, Deputy of the Year 2013, Benjamin Harmonson, Deputy of the Year 2014, Jonathan Juden, Deputy William Malloy, Deputy Joseph Mountjoy, and Deputy of the Year 2015, Orlando Ramos. And Reserve Deputies Ralph Anton and Ron Strange.
And it's always helpful to see them without their lights flashing in their rearview mirror. You know what I'm saying? Okay, you got that. Okay, we have a little special word from a very special person.
Good afternoon. I hate public speaking, so I'll make this really short. This is my second year as a Rosamond Substation Sergeant for this event. I'd like to thank the Rotary for the support you've shown us. I really appreciate everything this community does for us. The community constantly tells us how good a job we're doing. That's really important. I live in this community and see that we are not perfect, but all the deputies here truly try to make a difference. With changes in society and the changes in the laws, it takes a special person to deal with everyone else's problems and stay positive. Studies show we deal with 5% of the population 90% of the time. We don't come in contact with the majority of the community on a daily basis. But in the Rosamond area, at least a couple times a week, I have someone in the community thanking me for the job we do. The Rosamond deputies tell me the same thing. I would personally like to thank all the deputies and their families for the work they do here. They sacrifice time, and the families don't hear the appreciation we have for them. I also want to thank the substation clerk, Connie. She keeps the substation running. As the Rosamond Substation Sergeant, I am lucky to have a group of deputies like this. As I said before, we're not perfect, and there is no perfect deputy. This group of deputies that are assigned here have their own specialties and their own interests. I have deputies here that have collateral duties throughout this department, such as bomb squad, rural crimes unit, air support, CMT, deputies that work drug cases and get intelligence on what's happening throughout the area, and so on. The deputies also have collateral duties in the substation. I have a property room deputy, a safety officer, a gang officer, a fleet officer, a CSU coordinator, a neighborhood watch coordinator, etc. These positions are extremely important to the substation running efficiently. So I really had a tough decision on naming the Deputy of the Year. In the past, last year, we voted on the Deputy of the Year. I'd only been here a few months, and I didn't feel I was in a position to name the deputy last year. This year, I made a decision, but I took input from everyone that I could get. Generally, everyone's first choice when you ask them is one of their beat partners. They all like working with each other, and they realize the good things that their beat partners do. I spoke to my senior deputies and my substation ST, Connie, and based on the information I received from everyone and what I saw, I picked the Deputy of the Year. I chose a deputy that always writes good reports. He completes all his paperwork in a timely manner. His vehicle is one of the cleanest in the substation. He keeps the property room in order and he is also my school resource officer, even though I don't have a school resource officer. Last year, students from his martial arts school put on a demonstration for this event. When he is assigned a case, he is obsessed with putting together the information and the evidence to get the suspects arrested. He was the investigating officer in a couple cases that were high visibility Rosamond within the last year. A couple months ago, a large portion of Rosamond was tagged over a couple days. This deputy was able to identify the suspects and get prosecution from the DA's office. He also put together another case for an armed robbery that occurred at a recycling center. The subject then shot several holes in another vehicle and was clearly a danger to society. There was not much information to start with on this case, but the deputy was able to keep getting information which identified a suspect. He was able to obtain an arrest warrant. The suspect was later arrested, and an AK-47 was located. He's also been our school's deputy. He's assisted in presenting anti-bullying programs at West Park and Rosamond Elementary Schools. He recently assisted in pedestrian safety and a bicycle safety program at the Tropical Middle School. He is always at most of the schools in the morning trying to make sure our children stay safe getting to school. He often shows off and does demonstrations for the kids at these schools. He has been assigned to the Rosamond substation for approximately 6 years, and he's going to be our first repeat Deputy of the Year. Deputy John Juden.
It definitely means a lot. It comes out of surprise. Definitely didn't think I would be getting it 2 times, but I'm very appreciative. I've been out here in Rosamond for about 6 years now, and I love working out here. When I'm out on patrol, everyone waves from all walks of life, and they show their support to the sheriff's office, and it means a lot. Just down from everyone. When I'm cruising by, everyone waves, and everyone's friendly, and I really enjoy working out here in Rosamond, and I got great beat partners. Like the Sarge was saying, we have a good crowd out here. We have air support guys, we have bomb squad, we have crisis negotiations. So we got a good group of deputies out here and a good leadership, so I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Don't go anywhere. Look, you can't go anywhere. You have to stay here. Okay, we have a little presentation. Yes. I'm sure it's a kind of toy that you understand how to use and have a lot of fun with. and sharpen your aim so, you know, you get your gun. All right, that is wonderful. Fabulous. And thank you so much again to Carl's Hardware Firearms. And did we get enough pictures? Oh, we good? Okay.
We got one more.
We have another, yes. Yes. Will you say a few words in the microphone?
That was my mandatory state. You guys have a good day. All right.
Hello everyone, my name is Courtney Jones. I am Team Miss Rosamond 2015, and this is Team Miss Rosamond for Princess. Tori is our second one too. On behalf of the Rosamond Community Queens, we would like to present you with this gift basket. It's full of a whole bunch of goodies that's personalized just for you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for our community, and we really appreciate it.
That's pretty.
All right, we are at the very end, and thank you so much for coming again on behalf of the Rosamond Rotary Club and having our unique tableware. That was fun. I don't know what happened to the plates, but we made do. All right, great, and we appreciate that, and compliment the cooks. The food was great. It was wonderful. I hope you enjoyed it too. And remember, also some dinners that you can buy in the back, you know, wonderful plates that aren't cut apart. Okay? And for the last word, Randy.
Thank you. Now remember, this is your final. Anybody else that did not have the opportunity to buy a raffle ticket? Okay. Please, once again, remember all applicable laws and restrictions or regulations must be met by the raffle winner to receive possession of the gun from our generous donor, Carl's Hardware Firearms. Now, one of the things about Rotary functions, especially ones... Just wait, Ron. You're not on yet. We at Rotary could not do functions like this without sponsors. And so tonight, or this afternoon, we would like to thank our generous sponsors, our titanium donor, Berkshire Hathaway Energy Renewables, our silver donors, Bryan Manor Apartments, Hall Ambulance, Carl's Hardware Firearms, Melcher's Construction, Melcher's Rental Properties, our host for this event, RC's Affordable Limousine Service. Thank you so much. The Rosamond Community Service District and Southern Kern Unified School District, and our bronze sponsor, State Farm Insurance, John Light of Burbank, and Nenach Centennial Market. And let me just say something before we do the drawing. Rotary is an incredible organization. Every service organization changes lives every day, both locally and internationally. May I please share with you, the Rosamond Rotary Club and all of the Rotary Clubs in Antelope Valley are actively looking for people who would like to help change lives. Don't wait until you retire. Get involved now. There's members from almost every Rotary Club here. If this is something you've always wanted to do, please take the step and join a Rotary Club. Okay, who's going to draw the, one of the things I learned as governor is that you never draw the 50-50 raffle because you only make one person happy. So I'm not doing this.
Is Courtney here? Courtney, can you come?
It appears that the winner of the Rotary Raffle 2016 of the AR-15 rifle is Thomas House. have to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, a huge, huge thank you to all of you that gave part of your Saturday afternoon, made your generous donation. Thanks to the Rosamond Rotary Club for the 11th annual and all the other Rotarians. Please drive home safely, and thank you once again so much for your support this afternoon.
Hi, I'm Debbie Lansgard. I'm Hannah Lansgard.
And if you can just let me know what we're here doing today.
Well, we are attending the Sheriff's Appreciation Barbecue. Right over there is the raffle for the AR-15 rifle that was donated by Carl's Hardware. And basically all the proceeds will go to the sheriffs, and we're just really, really appreciative to all of the sheriffs for what they do for our community. They keep us safe, and we just want to say thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much. I just want to say congratulations. I know you're going off to start your life journey now. If you can just let me know, let everyone know what you're going to study and what you dream to be.
I'm right now studying nursing. I hope to get my registered nursing license and transfer to California State University of Monterey Bay to get my bachelor's and eventually get my master's to become a certified registered nurse anesthetist.
And what are you out here supporting today?
Today is the Sheriff's Appreciation. I'm definitely thankful for all that they do for our community.
Thank you so much, Megan.
Thank you.
Well, hi, I'm David Wolf, and I'm a Deputy District Attorney, and I am running for Judge, Kern County Superior Court. I've been a prosecutor for you for 24 years, and I'd really like your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So I've been a prosecutor for 24 years, and I've done everything from misdemeanors to first-degree murder. I'm also a volunteer with the Kern County Search and Rescue Team, and I've received 2 awards for my service to the Kern County Search and Rescue. I'm involved with the schools. I am a volunteer coach with Mock Trial and the Lead the People program, and we also volunteer with Academic Decathlon. And I hope you'll think about voting for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.